We live in some serious, absurd times right now in the United States of America. If you turn on the mainstream media, what you will be confronted with is this skewed picture of reality that can only be described as more disbelievable than fantasy, which tries to tell you that the biggest threat to the United States of America is white women getting into arguments with black people. And they're so bad at this, so bad at putting this forward, they can't even find the arguments where the white woman is in the wrong. The most recent one that we've talked about on this channel was the so-called Bike Karen, who apparently is still a bad person because she should have been nicer to the 5 black guys that were attempting to rob her on video, even though people were originally accusing her of robbing those 5 black guys while being 6 months pregnant. But while this is all happening, what we're actually seeing in this nation is dramatic spikes in crime across the board. And in major metropolitan areas, we're also seeing significant spikes that seem to correlate with the installation of left-wing district attorneys, super left-wing mayors, or bad state government policy, depending on where you look. And sometimes you end up with a trifecta. However, what we're going to talk about in Los Angeles is how bad it's gotten just based on the fact that Gascon is the district attorney there, because there was a break-in and robbery in an Asian store, something that we've heard before. However, what's interesting about this specific case is that when the store owner returned to his property to report the crime, the robbers came back and then robbed him again. Yeah, that's right. The criminals are so confident in Los Angeles that they'll even attack you as you report the crime that occurred just the night prior. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you to everybody who went over to actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay?
And to everyone who has been listening via Apple's podcasting platform, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Really trying to build out the podcast so I have alternatives.
Now at 11, brutally beaten, pistol whipped, and robbed. Thieves attack a store owner in downtown LA and take off with cash and jewelry.
Now, I've had to redact that portion of the video, which was shown by the local news, which showed the Asian man who enters his store being attacked and pistol whipped by black perpetrators, and these are likely the people that attacked and robbed the store the night before. Now, if you want to watch the full local news segment, it is linked in the description. It is quite a violent episode, so viewer discretion is advised, but I have to follow rules that other news outlets on this platform don't have to follow because, you know, I'm trying to report on crime and tell you what's going on in this country, not dox a 6-month pregnant woman in order to make money off of people who are angry and imagine all this evil white racism out there.
When you hear the facts of this story, you will be in shock. It involves a young couple of entrepreneurs who are living and working here in downtown Los Angeles.
So first and foremost, I just want to point it out because I know you're all thinking it. There is definitely something wrong with the way that this man is talking. He is slowing down and speeding up at random points, and I assure you that is not a manipulation done by me. There is something off by him. It must be all the smog in Los Angeles polluting this man's lungs, so I am going to seek out help, consult with a doctor, and send some medical professionals to this man because he definitely needs it.
The girlfriend became so frustrated with skyrocketing crime that she moved to Arizona just a few days ago on Sunday. Then 2 days later, thieves broke into her boyfriend's clothing store and cleaned the place out. And the very next day, he was robbed at gunpoint.
But you did hear him right. The girlfriend actually recently moved to Arizona, moved her business to Arizona, based on the fact that there's skyrocketing crime in Los Angeles, and there are no policies in place that look like they're going to reverse it. Remember, they elected Karen Bass, who is soft on crime and pro-criminal. Gascon is the district attorney. He is soft on crime and pro-criminal. So they moved, and this guy is in the process of following her, but just before he gets out the door in LA, he is violently and brutally attacked by criminals, the same criminals that keep getting released by the district attorney and supported by the mayor.
All the messages from my friends in Indonesia, they were like, what the hell is going on there?
Ivana Octaviani expresses fear, anger, and frustration following a brutal attack on her boyfriend in downtown Los Angeles, caught on camera. She is sharing the footage and her story. Octaviani has made LA her home for the last 20 years. But fed up with rising crime and violence, she moved to Arizona on Sunday, hoping her businessman boyfriend would soon follow.
It's kind of amazing that American cities used to be the envies of the world. Leaders in industry, the most technologically advanced, clean, safe, again, where everybody would want to go, meccas of culture and all of that. And now we have people in Indonesia talking crap about American cities because they're seeing the utter decay that they've become. Los Angeles, the city of angels, somewhere where the weather is just ideally perfect. One of the reasons why so many people have went there is because it feels like a paradise, just tarnished by the rampant criminality and all these progressive policies that enable the criminals. Also very notable, and I just want to point this out because I say this over and over and over again, crime drives poverty, not the other way around. If you pay attention to this story, this entrepreneurial woman closed up her shop due to crime and then left the area and went to Arizona. The boyfriend is also in the process of doing that while he's being attacked. So you have two people, creators, innovators, entrepreneurs that are leaving an area specifically due to crime, which is going to lead to urban decay, which is going to drop property values, and of course will eventually lead to more poverty in the area. So for all of you who think that these thuggish criminals that brutally attacked this man the second night in a row are these innocent angels, these Aladdins who are just trying to feed their family, no, these are the people that are destroying these communities. Don't get it twisted.
Frankie Salerno may have good reason, especially now, because just 2 days later, his clothing store was burglarized and then he was attacked and robbed at gunpoint at the same location. Surveillance footage shows the relentless violence. Two intruders in hoodies, armed with at least one semi-automatic handgun.
Now, while I'm redacting the video because I don't want to get age restricted, because I want the most amount of people rather than just those who happen to watch KTLA's local news to see this, that the video is in fact, if shown, worthy of age restriction. They're not only hitting this guy, it's 2 against 1, of course, very brave of those thuggish criminals. One of them has a gun, but once they get the guy on the ground, they start hitting him continually, and then they kick him in the face as he's already done. The fight's already over, and they're still attacking him. They're still brutalizing this man, and again, this is just the morning after these guys already looted the store for all of the clothing. So they've already destroyed this man's livelihood. Now they're trying to critically injure him. They're basically trying to murder the guy in order to get the petty goods that he has on his person in this moment. And remember, these are the people that Karen Bass, these are the people that Gascon, these are the people that the progressive left are claiming are the victims of our society, the most vulnerable, the ones that we need to help. The ones that are kicking you in the face as you're already on the ground are somehow the angels of our society. And what you really need to watch out for is women who don't like getting robbed. If this guy in this situation would have called for help, that would have made him the evil racist in that scenario, and we should condemn him for daring to ask for the support of law enforcement as he's being kicked in the face by an innocent angel.
Wanted his gold necklace and Rolex watch and other jewelry. Frankie put up a fight, but the thieves beat him severely, pistol whipping, kicking, and punching their victim.
So not only do you see him pistol whipping him in the head in this video, you also see another person on top of him holding his arms back so he can't defend himself. Then, of course, he rears back for more kicks, and of course, it gets significantly worse because Frankie showed up with his friend, and his friend was also brutally attacked by these thugs.
They also attacked Frankie Salerno's friend.
Yeah, so if you were wondering why Frank is not speaking to the cameras, why he's not doing a news interview, it's because he's in the hospital with all those injuries that they just explained, and he looks absolutely horrible in the news segment. It's brutal, and of course, we're gonna find out when these guys, and hopefully they will eventually be arrested, and of course they're gonna get a sweetheart deal from Gascon. He's probably gonna, give them an award for their service to the community, that they're not first-time offenders, they're not innocent Aladdins who were just trying to impress Jasmine, who got evicted from their area because, oh my god, they were just so hungry they had to choose between paying for food or paying for rent. They're going to be violent repeat offenders who have attacked people before, and the audacity of people to say, oh, well, guess what? Property isn't worth more than human life when referring to what should happen when these guys come to attack you is absolutely absurd because they don't value human life. They could have easily killed this man over his watch and his necklace. And by the way, at certain points in time, he had clearly given up. There was clearly a surrender, yet they kept attacking. They kept kicking him in the head. They kept hitting him in the back of their gun, because that's what they do. They are violent criminals who enjoy inflicting pain on others, and they need to be removed from our society. Incarceration is for incapacitation. Get the criminals off the streets so they could stop offending against good people in our society. Again, they're driving the community into poverty. They're not victims of the community. They are the aggressors in the community, and we're losing all these different businesses in all these major metropolitan areas because they're making it impossible to function. This guy's entrepreneurial. He's a good guy, has a nice girlfriend. They seem to be wanting to work in this community for years and years and years, and guess what? They're not able to do that because even when they try to report a crime, when they try to report a thuggish robbery against their business, they're attacked by more thugs.
Frankie got assaulted at his shop on Wednesday, but he was there that day with his friend because he was waiting for police to come because his shop just got broken in the night before. And they took like most of his merchandise. On the back of his head is like all staples pretty much. Like it's crazy. He has like a broken skull, broken eye socket, broken nose, broken like fingers. It's just like, it's crazy.
Police are still looking for the gunman, both described as black, one wearing a black cloth face mask, black hoodie with an X on it, and black pants. The other was wearing a blue and white hoodie and blue jeans.
Imagine my absolute shock at that description of the suspects. Do you see my face? That is my shocked face at their description. I thought for sure, based on what the media covers, that they were going to be physician's assistants 6 months pregnant that just decided to attack and rob this person for the second time in a row due to the fact that they had evil white racism in their heart. I cannot believe that the description of these suspects is actually young black men, and if we're being serious, I'm actually kind of surprised that KTLA put out an accurate description of these suspects, and I appreciate them for doing so.
Is this how we become? This is LA. You know, LA was once a great city. California once a great state, and then look at it now. Look at it, like what happened?
Ivana Octaviani has set up a GoFundMe page to help pay for her boyfriend's medical expenses. You can find that link on our website, ktla.com.
Now, I'm going to link the GoFundMe in the description of this video as well, in case you want to support this individual. I do think it's important to actually stand up for victims, and you guys, time and time again, have come through, and I really appreciate that. But I think it's important that we all understand, which you guys definitely do, that the number one problem in the United States of America is not 6-month pregnant Karens stealing rentable bikes from 5 black teens. The far more common instance of violence that we see in this country is what we just saw right there. And by the way, by the numbers, if you've ever seen that chart of interracial crime where they cut off the Asian numbers, we end up finding out that it's about 99 times more likely what we just saw, which was a black on Asian crime, than the other way around. And that's something that should be reflected in the news's coverage when they talk about these issues. They're so obsessed with these man bites dog kind of instances that they're desperately clinging to arguments, and even those arguments they can't find a white person in the wrong, that they're ignoring the overwhelming majority of interracial crime and who's perpetrating that in this country. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like the video, show them by leaving a like. Subscribe for more content. Follow me on all my social media. Support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the topic that I talked about. Obviously, it's the end of the video. You know what I was saying. Till next time.